I think one of Elon Musk's incredible strengths and superpowers is he acknowledges that he is pathologically optimistic. If you think about it, you need to be optimistic in order to get to Mars or to build SpaceX or to build Tesla and all the things that he's done. But if you're pathologically optimistic and that's a strength, but it's overused, what happens? It becomes a derailer in terms of you're probably harder on your people. You're probably less patient with people. Your deadlines are a little bit unrealistic, right? So the point is he acknowledges it. He knows that he's pathologically optimistic, and overused, that can derail and can have an impact, a negative impact on his team.
So it's about almost making sure that, in a very metaphorical sense, you have this cup, but making sure it doesn't overflow out.
Yeah.
Onto your team, if that makes sense. Like, you have this amazing trait about you, but just make sure the consequences of that trait don't actually spill onto your followers, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, and the key, again, it always comes back to awareness, doesn't it? What you're aware of, you control. What you're unaware of controls you. So if you're aware of your strengths and your capabilities, but if they're overused and they derail, if you can become aware of that, you're probably going to mitigate, in the case of Elon Musk, the times where he might be, overly, tough on his people, have these incredibly, trying to get to Mars by next Tuesday, right? Or so it's just important to be aware of it, and I think all of us can show up better.
It's so fascinating to me because I feel like there's this line where ego becomes a problem, but then all these great CEOs, they're very close to the line. Like, it's not like they're like so far away from the line. They're very close to the line, but they just make sure they don't go over the line. I saw you talked about, you talked about it now, but I saw you even made a post about Elon and his ability to be radically self-aware. And I know we talked about how some of those consequences of his need for excellence can sometimes fall down on his employees. But he's managed to rise to the top with a sufficient enough ego where he wants the best, but then somehow his ability to still be self-aware has not crossed this line.
Yeah. I think the reason that I'm sort of enamored with Musk, obviously, because he's an incredible genius. He's sort of the Da Vinci of our time. To build 5-6 different companies and run them at the same time is remarkable. I think what draws me to him is he strikes me as a guy who is constantly learning, not just about the world, but himself. And I think he has flaws. He has incredible superpowers. But, I think he's pretty open about his flaws. He said that, when he went to Washington with this Doge thing, he said, we're going to make some mistakes. And he acknowledged them. I just like that in a leader. I like that the leaders to me that resonate the most are the ones that view themselves as an unfinished product. We're constantly growing. Even Jamie Dimon, who's 69, almost 70, views himself that way. He's still learning. He's still growing. The other day he had a rant on hybrid work, which you may have seen, which was kind of went viral, and he used some pretty profane language. That sort of self-righteous anger came out, and that bluntness, and then later on he acknowledged that I need to tone down the profanity. I need to control my emotions a little bit. I like that in a leader. Even a guy as iconic as Jamie Dimon, is still working on showing up as his best version of himself.
Yo, if you like that, then you're gonna like this, the full episode. Come on, you want to click it. Come on. All right, well, if you're not gonna click that, you might as well subscribe.